The Big Ten's #1 rusher, Leveon Bell, leads Michigan State into their 6th straight bowl game. Trevone Boykin, a redshirt freshman at the controls for TCU's Horned Frogs, in their 8th straight postseason game. The Spartans looking to end their season as they did a year ago with a victory in the postseason. The Big Ten, the Big 12, Spartans and Horned Frogs coming up next. And we welcome you to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl from Tempe, Arizona. Beautiful night for football. A lot of purple in the stands. TCU and Michigan State set to get together here at Sun Devil Stadium. And we welcome you, everybody. Happy holidays. Brad Nessler along with Todd Blackledge. These two teams, Todd, I think expected more out of their 2012 season. They're going to start to put that in the rearview mirror, I think, and look ahead to 2013. Michigan State lost 5 games in the Big Ten by a total of 13 points. Tough year. They won some close ones as well. At TCU, their first foray into the Big 12, right. I think they did pretty well, but they went 4-5. So what's the motivation tonight for these two teams?
Well, I think you hit it. I think both these teams are going to be highly motivated because I think both of them feel they're better teams than their record shows. You know, sometimes you worry about one team being more motivated than the other in a non-BCS bowl. I think both teams want to finish on a positive note, and both teams are very young. They're going to be good next year. I think they both want to use this game as a building block, a springboard into next season.
They're both the #1 defenses in their respective conferences, and we'll develop that as we go through the game. But let's talk about the guys that those student defenses need to stop tonight.
Well, when TCU's on defense, they've got to stop Leveon Bell. I mean, he is the go-to guy. I mean, if you looked up in a dictionary a workhorse, this would be the guy. 350 carries, over 1,600 yards, and half of his yardage comes after contact. He's 6'2", 240 pounds, and as you see in these highlights, pretty doggone athletic as well. When TCU has the ball, their redshirt freshman quarterback, Trevone Boykin, who's been a starter the last 8 games and has gotten better and better the more he plays. He's a dual-threat guy, and dual-threat quarterbacks have given Michigan State's defense a few problems this year. Boykin is the guy Michigan State has to stop, especially on 3rd down.
All right, we talked about Leveon Bell and the fact that TCU is going to try to slow him down. He thinks he can't be slowed down, I believe, as we check in 3rd member of our team, Holly Rowe. Holly?
Let's just say he's confident. He said, we're going to try and run the ball down their throats and wear those guys out. And Leveon has proven he can do that for most of this season. In fact, in 6 games this year, he has had 32 or more carries. He is built to last. They feel like to get against this defensive front of TCU, they have got to be patient and run the football. We'll see if he puts his yardage where his mouth is tonight.
Okay, we'll find out. Mark D'Antonio done a great job at Michigan State his 6th year as a head coach. 6 straight bowl game. And on the other side, Gary Patterson, 11th bowl game for him in his 12 seasons at the controls, and he is the winningest coach in TCU history. 2010, TCU went 13-0 and won the Rose Bowl. 2009, they were in the Fiesta Bowl out here in Arizona on a 12-1 year. Last year, 11-2. This year, a little bit down, but as Todd said, so much youth on this team. They are looking ahead to next season and kind of salivating over the fact that they're going to open up at Cowboy Stadium against LSU.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a real challenge for them. And again, both of these teams have more freshmen that they've played that were involved in the depth chart than seniors, and that's something to build on.
Well, they're specialists as well, our freshmen. As TCU won the toss and deferred, Michigan State, Nick Hill and Larry Caper back deep awaiting Jaden Oberchrome's kickoff. Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl wrapping up your Saturday night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl.
And we're underway in Tempe. Kick goes to the 1-yard line to Nick Hill. Hill trying to follow his blockers and got out across the 25 out around the 27-yard line. That's where Michigan State will go to work with Andrew Maxwell, their junior quarterback. There's his numbers on the year. Guy that didn't get a lot of time behind Kirk Cousins, and now he's the man. He's taken a lot of flack this year. He's gotten some credit in some games. He said yesterday some of the wins, I get too much credit. some of the losses, as you know, you always get the blame.
Yeah, that's the way it goes for a quarterback. And Maxwell understands that, has a really good head on his shoulders. I think it'll be important for him to be effective throwing the ball on early downs against this TCU defense.
Here is Leveon Bell on the first carry and got it out to the 31-yard line. As we take a look at our impact players for Michigan State. Leveon Bell, he's the workhorse. William Goldston defensively really brings some pressure off the edge. He's a huge body at 6'7", almost 280 pounds. And Max Bullough, the middle linebacker, he is all linebacker, third generation Spartan, and he leads the club in tackles, and he definitely leads the club getting them aligned defensively. Three wideouts here. Quick throw out to Bell in the flat. He's going to try to reverse his field. His quarterback throws him a little block. He spins back and had to work very, very hard for a gain of a yard.
You're not going to run outside too much against this TCU defense. They are not nearly as big in stature as Michigan State, but they are very fast, and particularly on defense.
You were talking about that. You were down on the field before the game, and there is a big size difference.
It really is. I mean, you know, Michigan State is a typical Big Ten team. Big offensive line, big defensive line, and inside linebackers, and TCU is built for the Big 12 in the way they play offense there.
Maxwell in the shotgun on third down at 6. Has time, throws short, and that's going to be a loss of a yard. Burbridge made the catch, but Jason Verrett, the leader of the secondary and all Big 12 performer, made the stop.
Jason Verrett is a guy who has really come on. I mean, struggled a little bit early in his career when he transferred from junior college in California, but once he settled down, he became a lockdown corner, and that's something Gary Patterson loves with this defense.
Mike Sadler will punt it away. Sky Dawson's got great speed. He's back as a return man. Dawson in the top 5 in the Big 12 in both kickoff and punt returns. He's going to have to fair catch this one around the 24-yard line. So a 3 and out for Michigan State. And now Trevone Boykin, the guy we talked about, brings out the offense. Redshirt freshman out of Mesquite, Texas. And there's his numbers. And his numbers really improved as the season went along. He was a little shaky early.
Yeah.
Had to take over after week 4.
Well, at one point, and when he did take over, the first 3 days of that week's of practice, he was a tailback.
Right.
Because they had injury problems at tailback. And then on Thursday, he became the starting quarterback.
And that led up to the Iowa State game where he was indoctrinated into playing quarterback in the Big 12 and threw 3 interceptions. Here he is to throw on the first play of the game, and incomplete. Josh Boyce got his hands on it but couldn't hold it. Let's take a look at the Horned Frogs and their impact players. And the guy that just laid out for that one, Josh Boyce, having another great season, couldn't hold that one. Verrett, we talked about him already. 6 interceptions, leading the secondary. And Devontae Fields, wait until you see this freshman, the freshman of the year defensively in the Big 12. All 3 wide receivers go out to the top of your screen. Boykin looks a little bit confused, trying to get the play call from the sideline.
Well, Michigan State moved out of their 4-man front. They're into a 3-man front. They're kind of moving around, trying to confuse the young quarterback.
Boykin slips as he throws, and with that, it's a one-hopper out to Cam White, incomplete.
You know, the thing I noticed in pregame, and I don't know if there was a previous injury or anything that was bothering him, but he has an unusual tape job on his left ankle. And not sure if that's a problem or if that's just something he's always done, but kind of lost his footing on that play. Didn't look too sharp with his footwork throwing the out route.
And they've got a 3rd and 5. So far, neither offense able to get anything going. Let's see if TCU can on this 3rd down. Michigan State looks like they might bring a little extra pressure. Boykin deep on the sideline, incomplete, intended for Brandon Carter, and there come the flags.
Well, there was contact with the safety, Curtis Drummond, number 27, but I'm not sure that ball was catchable. And that ball looked like it was clearly thrown out of bounds and not a catchable pass.
Pass interference, number 27 on the defense. Grabbed and restricted the receiver. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Mark D'Antonio doesn't like it much.
Yeah, really an unnecessary penalty. Drummond was beat. He did grab, and there's the hold.
Yep.
So even if it wasn't uncatchable, it was a holding. He definitely grabbed him, and that's what drew the flag. The ball was going to end up out of bounds, but Drummond instinctively, when he felt himself being beat, grabbed the jersey.
So first down by penalty for TCU. Now they work at the 47-yard line. Boykin running out of time and now running out of trouble and running well, which is what he does so well. Inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 19.
Now, and again, this is the problem that he creates. Michigan State wants to lock up the corners. They want to run in man-type coverages, and if you don't close up all those rushing lanes, Boykin will make you pay. And that's what he's done over the last 8 games.
Now they've got some tempo working. Michigan State not able to change anything defensively because they just went up to the line. They take their time now. 5 receivers and an empty backfield at this point for Boykin. First down at the 34-yard line of the Spartans. Now it's Tucker who joins him back there, and he'll get the carry. Jumps into the middle and jumps out for 11 yards. Best run of the night by TCU other than their quarterback.
3 other teams that had dual threat quarterbacks. Ohio State with Braxton Miller, Denard Robinson, Michigan, Taylor Martinez of Nebraska, all created some problems for this tough Michigan State defense. They lost to all 3 of those teams in very close games, but that dual threat quarterback, the ability to run from the quarterback position, puts extra stress on a defense, even one as good as Michigan State.
There's a little more Braxton Miller in him than Martinez, don't you think?
Yeah.
Fires sidearmed, and this one he completes out to Josh Boyce, and Boyce inside the 20.
And the reason for that is, and I noticed this when I was down the field before the game, he's not real tall, but he's pretty thick in his lower body the way Braxton Miller is,
right,
which makes him hard to tackle. Taylor Martinez is just flat out fast. When he gets a running lane, he's hard to catch. This guy and Braxton Miller are hard to tackle.
And that's why he was set up to at least see some duty at tailback before Iowa State, before he found out he had to play quarterback. He's got great wheels, and as you said, he's put together. 215 pounds. Here's Tucker. Nope, it's a keep this time by Boykin. Great fake, had me, and got it down to a 1st and goal.
And where the running quarterback is the biggest problem for a defense, 2 areas, on 3rd down and in the red zone. He really sells the fake on the zone play. It's a zone read. He read the defensive end crashing down and made the correct read and got the ball inside the 10-yard line.
So he's had runs of 19 and now 13. And it's 1st and goal for the Horned Frogs. B.J. Catalon, the freshman tailback, in there with him in the backfield now. Actually, it's spotted at the 5. Fly sweep. This one will score. Matthew Tucker, touchdown. Tucker got ahead of steam, took it to the corner, and the Horned Frogs on the board first.
The reason this play worked is because the threat of the quarterback run. You saw a lot of defenders zeroing in on Boykin. Watch the linebackers and safety zero in on Boykin, and then Tucker was able to get to the edge. That's all set up by the quarterback run.
Tucker's 6th touchdown rushing of the year. The extra point by Oberchrome is good. Good looking drive after they got the first down by penalty. Their quarterback and tailback took over. 73 yards in 9 plays. 7-0 TCU. Matthew Tucker's 4-yard touchdown romp with 5:45 remaining first quarter. Good looking drive.
Yeah.
Sort of stalled until they got that penalty, and then they got in gear. Boykin with 2 runs that totaled 32 yards helped the cause. Oberchrome's kick. Nick Hill will take a knee. Picks up the snap, and Maxwell gets it out to the 42-yard line.
Now that win by Michigan State over Georgia last year snapped a 5-game bowl losing streak for Michigan State. This is their 6th bowl appearance in a row under Mark D'Antonio, but that was their first win
He was telling us, we kind of lived off that for about 8 months. We were bragging about winning that bowl game, and now he said we got to quit bragging and win another one. Try to make it back-to-back postseason wins. 2nd down and 6. Maxwell gives it off to Bell. Broke one tackle, a stiff arm, and then tagged out of bounds by Kenny Kane. Very close to the 1st down.
Well, and that's where you see that statistic where he leads the country in yards after contact. I mean, he's not going to run away from a lot of people. He's a big target. He takes a lot of hits, but he breaks arm tackles. I mean, it takes a lot to get him on the ground. And there you see his numbers, 834 yards after contact. More than half of his total for the season.
Came in with 1,648 yards, which was #1 of the Big Ten and 3rd in the country in yards per game at about 138. And again, it's 3rd down and less than 1. Here he comes again, puts his head down, and he got leveled. Kane is in on the stop again, and Olabode from the secondary.
Well, you got to go low, and that's what they did. They came in low. Olabo is the guy who got underneath the pads. He got underneath the pads of Leveon Bell and took his legs out and didn't allow him to fall forward for the 1st down. That's a beautiful tackle by a smaller safety against the big back.
I think for a split second there was a thought about going for it on 4th down, but out comes the punting unit. As you look behind Sadler, the left footer, and this one really sailed on it too far. In fact, it hits the end zone on the fly. And so TCU gets it back with a nice defensive stand on 3rd down and a yard, leading 7-0. Boykin on 1st down, throws it, completes. Josh Boyce, but holding on for dear life back there is Darquez Denard, and he makes the tackle after a short game.
Denard is an outstanding corner. I mean, he has had a tremendous year. He's physical, 5'11", 188 pounds, out of Georgia, and he is, again, they play their corners in press coverage almost every down, and they put him out there on an island, and Denard has just had a phenomenal season.
Johnny Adams not in the lineup tonight due to a bad foot, and so his spot's being manned by Mitchell White tonight. 2nd down at 6. Catalan got a couple. That's about all. Marcus Rush, first guy to make contact, along with Max Bulla, the middle linebacker. Bulla, 3rd generation Spartan. His granddaddy Hank, his dad played in the mid-'80s for Michigan State. He's got a little brother on the team and another one to come, and then I think they're out of bullets for a while.
And now they're both linebackers too, right?
Yep.
The 2 younger brothers. 3rd down conversions have been difficult for Boykin. Even though he's a good threat as a runner, he's still young, and reading and recognizing coverage is the hardest part of playing quarterback.
3rd and 8. Rolls to throw and lets it fly deep in the middle, and it's caught. Listenby down inside the 20. Got a penalty marker in the backfield, but he just threw that one as far as he could, and the other true freshman ran under it.
Personal foul, has the face on the defense. That penalty's declined. 1st down.
This should not have been a completion, though. I mean, credit Boykin for staying in there and making the throw, but Isaiah Lewis, the safety, just misplayed this ball. It was a little bit underthrown, and Lewis is in position to make a play on the football and just misjudges it. I mean, he was there, and the ball went over his hand and into the receiver, and a big 1st down for TCU.
And that's the first catch of the year for Colby Listenby, the freshman. A 59-yarder. That's the way you do it. Go into a bowl game and go deep. So TCU pitching a shutout so far. Their offense has the only touchdown, leading 7-0, but threatening again here in Tempe when we return. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary to the 1st quarter of play out here in Tempe. The 2 quarterbacks, Trevone Boykin 32 rushing yards on their 73-yard touchdown march. So he was a big help. So far, Michigan State and Andrew Maxwell haven't been able to muster too much on offense. So TCU, after that long pass play to Colby Listenby, has it inside the red zone again. First down at the 19-yard line. Play action. Boykin lofts it to the end zone and dropped by Ladarius Brown. Should have been a touchdown.
Well, Ladarius Brown got tangled up with Denard, and Denard actually tripped and fell down. He was in position, and right here he's going to stumble, and that's going to create separation, but Brown not able to get the catch. You're not going to get that kind of separation against Denard very often.
Again, 3 wideouts to the top. And they show the same set with Catalan flanking Boykin in the shotgun. This time they give it to him. Spins his way down to the 21. Not quite back to the original line of scrimmage. Max Bolo made the tackle. And so here they are with a 3rd down situation again. And now Michigan State is changing up some personnel on the fly. And TCU is ready to go. They had to hustle just to get extra DBs out there. 3rd and 12. TCU needs to get to the 9-yard line for a first down.
Where Golston needs to show up for Michigan State.
There comes the pressure, and down he goes. And it was Zanakos Allen, the outside linebacker. That's his 3rd sack of the year.
He's standing up on the outside. They like the zone blitz, and he's just going to beat him to the outside. Golston goes inside. Allen comes outside and beats the tackle. Again, remember these 2 tackles for TCU. One is a true freshman, Collins, number 69, who was beat on that play. Number 59, Fabulage, started out as a defensive lineman in his first year playing offensive line.
Let you know that penalty and then the sack. This is not going to be an easy field goal for Oberkrom, the freshman. Kick on the way, and he tucked it in the right upright. He's been pretty darn good this year. That's his 20th field goal of the year, and it puts him over 100 points on the season. And it also stretches TCU's lead to 10-0. 13:25 remaining in the first half. 10-0 TCU. And Michigan State's problems with scoring, Todd, continue so far in the bowl game.
Well, this is an offense that only scored 25 touchdowns. And it's, you know, part of it's a new quarterback. Part of it is they had 6 different offensive line combinations because of injuries and different reasons. They just now have kind of settled that the last 4 games. And another part is they have not been particularly dynamic on the outside at wide receiver. Last year they had B.J. Cunningham, who had 79 catches and 12 touchdowns. They had Keyshawn Martin, who had 66 catches. They just haven't had the same kind of productivity.
Oberkrom's kick to the 3-yard line to Nick Hill. Hill got a little crease, got across the 30. Nice open field tackle by Jeff Hooker, or he might have been off to the races. Number 2 quarterback in for Michigan State, and Connor Cook. Same carry anyway as Andrew Maxwell on the sideline.
And this has nothing to do with Andrew Maxwell. They told us yesterday they wanted to get Connor Cook in the ball game some. It was hard to get him in at all this year because they had so many close games. And now's a good time in the bowl game, and it's early in the first half to get him in, get him some game reps.
And again, you get those 15 extra practices between the end of your season and your bowl game, and a lot of times you're looking ahead to next year and looking to get guys like this, a redshirt freshman, some work. Here he is throwing on the run and throws a strike to his tight end, Deion Sims, and he's going to have a first down, I think.
Well, that's normally what he does. That's his 34th catch of the year, and 28 of his 34 catches have either resulted in a first down or a touchdown. He's a big target, 6'5", about 280 pounds, and has pretty soft hands as well.
So Michigan State first down at the 43. Go back to an I backfield with Leveon Bell at tailback. They're going to throw on first down. And they're going to throw deep. And incomplete. Danny Fowler, the intended receiver, or the closest man.
Kenny Kane was bringing pressure. Devontae Fields was also in the backfield. You know, I mentioned the two bookend defensive ends and why that's a problem. If a team only has one really great defensive end, you can slide your protections and get big guys and help taking care of one. But when you have two, it forces you as an offense and protection to kind of be more balanced. And it's a much more difficult problem when you have excellent rushers on both ends.
Cook, the handoff to Bell, spinning his way out to the 48-yard line. Talking about that, Fields actually had the better stats, Ledge, but I think some of the time it's because people were paying too much attention and chipping on Mapunga on the other side.
Well, Mapunga's started more games. I mean, he started 34 games. This is his 34th consecutive or career start, and he missed a couple games with a foot injury. He missed completely 2 games and parts of 2 other games because of the foot injury, but when he's healthy, he's a real handful.
3rd down and 5 at the 48. There's a big tight end, Sims again in motion. Cook stands tall, fires across the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Burbridge. And he should have had that one. Chris Hackett back there covering.
Chris Hackett did a nice job of never giving up on the play and stripping the ball out late. This is a beautiful throw by Cook. Right on the numbers. Should have been a catch, but you see Hackett never gave up on the play. He stripped it late and got the ball out for an incompletion.
Nice play by Hackett. Another one of the redshirt freshmen out of Tyler, Texas, and it forces Sadler into his 4th punt of the night. This time the return on all the way. High arching punts. Nice job by Dawson to try to fake out Michigan State, but they're down there to cover this thing inside the 5-yard line. Called for the fair catch, and they weren't biting on that. Leveon Bell's been held pretty much in check. So far, TCU with a 10-0 lead. Every year, the wildlife at the Phoenix Zoo gives way to some wild lights. Zoo Lights celebrates 3.6 million lights and more than 700 light displays out there. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, even though TCU kind of has things going the way they want, this is where the young quarterback Boykin needs to take care of the football, because in the 8 games that he started, when they take care of the ball, they win. And when they're careless with the ball, they lose. They're plus 12 in the turnover margin in their 7 wins.
Boykin throwing on the run, and too high for Sky Dawson. Plus 12 in those wins, as you said, minus 7 in the losses.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference, and it's a tough spot down there inside the 5. At least in bowl games, you don't have that kind of noise from.
Right. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. You can hear a little bit better down there on your own 4-yard line.
And even though Michigan State does not have the same kind of numbers interception-wise this year as they did a year ago, they have forced 7 interceptions in their last 3 games. And this is they kind of need something like that right now to shorten the field for their offense.
2 tight ends, 1 Gilbert in motion. The give is to Tucker, and he has to dive forward just to get a couple. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and long. And again, it might be Boykin having to throw from at least around his own goal line.
This is a big play for the Michigan State defense right now. They got a great punt. They covered it well. They have TCU pinned back. They get a stop here. They have a chance to shorten the field and flip field position for their offense that's having a little bit of trouble moving the ball against TCU.
They've got both Tucker and Andre Dean back there to try to give Boykin a little pass protection. He is standing right on his goal line on 3rd down and 9. Michigan State fans trying to make some noise for their defense. From his own end zone, fires, and it's caught, and it's Boyce off to the races. Josh Boyce inside the 40. Boyce still on his feet all the way down to the 35-yard line. Big play on 3rd and 9.
Excellent protection and a nice call, keeping both backs in to block. It was a zone blitz. It was a beautiful read and throw by Boykin, but a really nice call by having 2 backs in the backfield to provide extra protection, anticipating pressure from Michigan State. They picked it up, and Boykin made the big throw.
Catalan again will set up next to Boykin in the shotgun. First down at the 19. He'll get the carry. Quick feet out to the 11-yard line. William Golston holding on for dear life right there. But again, TCU pops up and runs back to the line of scrimmage. They'll have second down and 2 here.
Catalan is the most explosive back that they have. True freshman out of Westside High School in Houston, Texas. Had a little rough start in the Iowa State game, but has come on very nicely.
Empty backfield now for Boykin. Snap was a little wide, but he pulled it down and threw a nice ball out to Carter, and he didn't hold it. And that's the second or third drop we've seen by TCU's receivers tonight. Boykin put some heat on that one, and they don't hold it, so it's third down and 2.
I think one of the reasons that Michigan State has been so good defensively in the red zone, you don't have to cover as much field. And you can press the corners, and you don't have to cover depth. And they're able to squeeze receivers a little bit better on a shorter field.
A long 2 yards on third down. And now Boykin, the option pitch. Catalan not going to get there. Michigan State, and they'll hold, and the ball came out at the end. Chris Norman, the outside linebacker, kept stretching that thing out. So nice job by the Michigan State defense.
That was really good defense. Trying to get the ball to the perimeter. Michigan State did not lose leverage on the play. They forced it outside. There was another defender each time they tried to bounce it, and they not only stopped them, they created a loss of yardage situation.
Oberchrome hit from 47 yards earlier in this quarter. This will be a 31-yard field goal attempt. Trying to hit his 21st field goal of the season. And this one is up and good. This one inside the left pipe. Inside the right upright on the first one. Both good. The Horned Frogs at the end of the first half leading the Spartans of Michigan State and pitching a shutout to boot. 13-0. Our halftime score, and Holly's on the field with Gary.
Well, Coach, your young quarterback's playing in his first bowl game. How do you assess his performance so far?
It's all right. The last 2 drives, he's trying to do too much. You know, we throw an interception, just about threw another one. He needs to calm down. We don't need to be an All-American tomorrow. We just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get a score and understand the kind of team that we're playing. We got to play for another 30 minutes.
You've got a young defense. What growth have you seen in them in the last month off? Because they're doing a great job so far.
Well, I mean, they really, you know, we ended up leading the Big 12 in total defense. So really, they're playing like, you know, we have the last half of the season. We just got to understand we've turned some guys loose on play action. We got to do a better job, and we got to keep tackling.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Pitching a shutout at halftime, and a lot of his teams have been that good over the years, as Todd talked about. 13-zip at the break as we head back to the studio. The halftime report. Reese and the guys are standing by, fellas. And we welcome you back to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl in Tempe, Arizona. At halftime, TCU a 13-0 lead. Brad Nussler, Ty Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you. We somehow survived getting sauce on our ties with the wings we just had at halftime. You know, right now, Boykin, those last 2 series, and when Gary talked to Holly going to the locker room, made some mistakes. He just has to manage the game in the way their defense is playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, the defense has held Michigan State to 3 first downs, 76 yards of offense. They have not been threatened, so Gary Patterson is exactly right. He doesn't need to try to be an All-American. Manage the game, make good decisions, and number 1, take care of the football.
Leveon Bell, who Holly talked about in the pregame, tweeted that we're going to run it down their throats. Right now he's averaging about 3.5 yards a carry. So we'll see if the Big Ten's leading rusher comes to the plates in the second half as well. TCU is going to get the football first. Kevin Muma to kick off for the Spartans. A one-hopper at the 10 taken by Sky Dawson. And Dawson almost snapped through there, got out to the 30-yard line. They fake the handoff, and Boykin takes it straight up the middle, and he got 5 or 6 before Bulla knocks him off his pins. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, I caught up with Michigan State coach Mark D'Antonio at the half, and I talked to him about adjustments they could make with their receivers in the passing game. He said, look, they're a good defensive football team. Every time we've made some plays downfield, they've punched the ball out, they've been physical, they've pressed us. He needs his receivers to be a little bit more physical, and he said penalties are killing us. We've got to quit hurting ourselves against this very good team.
Yeah, too many drop passes. They do have to start holding on to whoever, be it Maxwell or Connor Cook, whoever's in there. They got to give him some help. Tucker now flanking Boykin in the TCU backfield. They fake it in, quick throw to the outside, and Brandon Carter with a first down.
Well, Boykin is doing some of the same things that the dual threat quarterbacks that gave Michigan State some problems have done also. And his numbers are kind of right along the lines of the numbers Braxton Miller, Denard Robinson, Taylor Martinez had, running and throwing and creating plays. And again, take away the turnover and the almost turnover, and he's played a pretty solid ball game.
As Ledge mentioned before, those quarterbacks that gave him trouble were all losses, albeit close losses, in those Big Ten games. 5 losses by 13 points total for Michigan State. So second down and 8 at the 45. And again, Boykin comes all the way over to the sideline.
Michigan State playing a lot more now with Trey Waynes, number 15, as a true freshman, a redshirt freshman from Kenosha, Wisconsin. They're very high on him. Think he's very talented. Just has not played very much this year. He's in there right now, up in press coverage.
Play action. Boykin fires too high. Incomplete. And Curtis Drummond was the closest guy. Brandon Carter, the intended receiver. So Michigan State one play away from getting their defense off the field and not allowing TCU any further damage. Let's see if they can stop a third down and 8.
A lot of times Michigan State in these situations shows a 3-man front. They like to go zone blitz and play 3 deep behind it, but still create pressure. A couple times Boykin has picked that up and made a big throw.
And he picked up half of that third down yardage on that one throw to Boyce. Here he's going to try to run for it. He's going to be stopped shy. Golston and Isaiah Lewis combine on the stop.
That's good.
Now this is going to be interesting. This is on Michigan State's side of the field. Now punting unit's coming out.
That's a defensive-minded coach that says, look, I'm not going to put our defense in a bind. We have shut down this offense. We're going to continue to make them go the long field and see if they can score.
Ethan Perry to punt. And Andre Sims way back there on the other end. Sims around his own 10-yard line. Has to really run up just to make this catch at the 21. So they don't get much out of the punt. We'll see if Michigan State and Andrew Maxwell can get something going offensively when we come back. Sky Harbor Airport here in Phoenix. Usually there's not that many flights going that fast. Todd and I will be leaving out of there when next Thursday night / Friday morning after the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Right now it's the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. And we've got Connor Cook back in at quarterback for Michigan State. And they've got to start at their own 10-yard line. And he keeps it and goes back to the line of scrimmage and no further. Devontae Fields, the sensational freshman we talked about earlier, in on the stop. Let's take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency updates. Michigan State on the season. They got a long ways to go to get to that seasonal average right now in offense. And still, that was 9th in the Big Ten. Back to the guy that had it going for him the last time they had the football, Leveon Bell. 3 or 4 that time before Chucky Hunter brings him down. They're making Leveon work for everything he gets tonight.
Yeah, there's just been a total absence of big plays for Michigan State. They just haven't had any plays that create big chunk yardage situations, and so everything has been a struggle. And And now we're in another third down situation deep in their own territory.
Third down, 7 for Cook. Set to throw, maybe.
Got room.
Now he's going to run with it. Slides. And a first down out at the 24. Nice decision by Connor Cook, a redshirt freshman out of Hinckley, Ohio.
Connor Cook is a little bit taller than Andrew Maxwell, listed at 6'4", about 230 pounds. Played high school at Walsh Jesuit High School. Good high school up in my area. Little breathing room. Again, they still need some kind of play down the field, a double move, and they need a receiver to make a play. Be tougher, be physical, and make a play down the field.
Here's Bell, cut down after maybe a yard. James McFarland, another one of those true freshman defensive players, makes a stop. And again, if you're just joining us, we were talking about it earlier in the ball game. You look ahead to TCU for next year. 70% of the guys playing right now are freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, they are young. And then you add in the fact that they could get their quarterback, Casey Pawhall, back, and Wayman James, their tailback, who was hurt after a couple games. Those are two key guys that could be back. James will definitely be back.
Here's Bell. Again, a nice move. The fake to the inside. And then the back pedal for the first down. He might be big, but he's got a little bit of shake and bake to him.
He does. He's got a little bit of wiggle. We saw in some highlights earlier in the game his ability to leap over defenders that try to go too low on him, but he just kept spinning on that one. Looked a little bit like Eddie Lacy, the Alabama back, who does so much spinning when he anticipates contact coming.
So again, Michigan State doing it on the ground here and trying to get their offense on the TCU side of the football field. This one broken up, intended for Keith Mumphrey. And again, Jason Verrett.
See, the short to intermediate routes, TCU is just squeezing down on them. They don't feel threatened by the speed of the wideouts of Michigan State. But I still think potentially some kind of double moves might be effective.
2nd and 10, just outside the 35 for the Spartans. Leveon Bell with a draw play off the right side across the 40 to the 42. Is going to be a long 2-yard shy of the first down.
The other thing that we have not seen that might be a pretty good option for Michigan State, not necessarily on this 3rd down play, but if they convert here, would be a screen pass to Leveon Bell. Get him out in the flat a little bit, get a couple blockers in front of him, and see if he can make a play in space.
Taquan Hammock, the fullback, is in there in the backfield with Bell. And he leads the way, and Bell puts his head down and takes some Horned Frog defenders with him for another first down. Well, they're getting a little sick of looking at him right now.
Yeah.
Or trying to tackle him at least.
Does a pretty nice job being patient, waiting for a little bit of a crease, and then throwing that big body in there, knowing what he needed for the first down.
First down at the 47 with just over 3 remaining in the 3rd. Bell again tries a stiff arm. Jason Verrett stayed with him, though, pretty much, and helped knock him off his pins right at the midfield stripe. You mentioned Verrett early in his career as a freshman. Got burned by RG3 and the Baylor offense for 3 long touchdowns, and he thought about quitting and going home and said, maybe I'm not good enough. And Gary Patterson said, you got to get tougher and learn from your mistakes and keep playing. And now he's a first-team All Big 12 performer. Again, Bell brought down by Verrett, but not before he got it inside the 45-yard line.
Really nice block on the inside by Taquan Hammock, the fullback. Just straight power football right there. Brings up another 3rd and short. They're bringing in their heavy package. This might even be a a direct snap.
They got Michael Dennis in there again, number 94, as basically an extra tight end tackle type.
Yep, direct snap to Le'Veon's got 2 fullbacks and an extra tackle.
Gee, I wonder which direction they're running. Oh, he's going to throw. Lofts one out. He's got Hammock. Hammock on the other end. First down, Michigan State. Well, that time he threw it forward.
He sure did. Forget that backwards pass. What a great call. Excellent call by Dan Rauscher, the offensive coordinator. Leveon Bell doesn't give it away. He shows run and then steps back. It wasn't beautiful, but it was effective.
It's the best pass play of the night, we'll tell you that much. Down to the 16-yard line. So here's Michigan State now in the red zone. They've been waiting all night to get there. Connor Cook under center. He'll give it off to Leveon Bell. Only about a yard before Hasley, the linebacker, knocked him down as we check in with Holly.
Well, let's give the big fullback, Tyquan Hammock, some love. Guys, he was a linebacker all season. They've switched positions for him. He's playing fullback for the first time this year. He's done a great job. They wanted to move their regular fullback over to defense, so they did. So how about that? A catch. Linebacker all year, and now he's got a reception.
Sometimes you got to give the fullback some sugar. And he's got him in scoring position right now. 2nd down and 9. Play action. Connor Cook fires just off the right hand of Benny Fowler. Couldn't get both hands up there to try to corner that in the end zone.
Beautifully covered by Verrett, though. I mean, he knew exactly where the receiver was, where the sideline was, pinned him right on the sideline, and there was nowhere for Connor Cook to go with the football.
Now it's getting to that point where Mark D'Antoni is going, how many chances are we going to get down on this end of the field? It's 3rd down and 9. It's a 2-possession game. They don't want to settle for a field goal here, if at all possible. Empty backfield for Cook. Scans the field, fires across the middle, crossing route, 1st down and more. Touchdown, Aaron Burbridge. Finally, Sparty finds the end zone.
Well, that was a little bit of a mismatch. It was a wide receiver, Burbridge, working on the walk-on linebacker, Hasley. Hasley not only got beat on the route, but he missed a tackle. And a completion turned into a touchdown for the Spartans.
Dan Conroy in for the point after. He's hit 78 straight extra points. 79 extra points. 13-7. All of a sudden, Michigan State got Leveon Bell warmed up, and then their backup quarterback with a touchdown toss. So now we got a ball game. Happy holidays from Tempe, where Michigan State just went 90 yards in 14 plays to get the touchdown.
Well, Caper is going to run the clear out, and Burbridge is going to go on the cross. Now, the guy who gets exposed is that linebacker right there, the walk-on, Joel Hasley. He picks up Burbridge, but he gets beat right there, and then watch him miss the tackle, and that turned a completion into a touchdown for Michigan State.
Michigan State to kick. They've got their group all bunched up. They fake the onside and now come back into a regular formation for Kevin Muma. Connor Cook, his first career touchdown pass, has made it a 13-7 ball game. And this kick won't be returned. They'll bring it out to the 25. Here's Sky Dawson. They'd like to get him out in some space. He's a 10-3 100-meter man. Knocked out of bounds after a short gain. So now TCU can't just sit on this thing.
Nope.
Only up by 6 with a half-minute remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Again, the undoing for TCU this year and their 7-5 record has been when they turn the ball over. And they've done it with their young quarterback, and you know that's sometimes is the problem with playing so many freshmen is they make freshman mistakes. And right now You're right. They can't sit on it, but they certainly still have to take care of the football.
And clock winding down to end quarter number 3. Well, we got 15 minutes to find out who's going to win the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl for 2012. Stick around. End at 3, 13-7. Leveon Bell got 35 of that 93 total on the last drive that got Michigan State back in the ball game. And so after being held scoreless for the 3rd straight bowl game in a row at halftime, Michigan State fights back to get in this thing as we enter the 4th quarter. TCU in front 13-7 with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe. Brad Nessler with you in our final bowl game of 2012 before we hang around and soak up some more Arizona hospitality before the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl next week. Nice throw and catch. Brandon Carter had to go up.
Nope, they're going to leave it off.
Incomplete. I thought he had it. Got knocked off the ball by Curtis Drummond.
I think when he got upended, when he came down, the ball hit the ground. Boy, that looks
well,
like there.
Came out at the end, but
yeah, that looked like a catch, didn't it?
so instead of a first down, it's 3rd down and 8. Spartans look like they might bring a little extra pressure. Boykin, quick throw, low, but caught by Ladarius Brown, a yard shy of the first down. A full yard right there.
That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. You know what?
Why run that far and don't get another yard or so?
You know, if the route is a 9-yard, 8-yard route and you need 9 for the first down, go ahead and make it a little bit longer. You can do that. Doesn't disrupt the timing that much.
Right. Brown, I think, upset with himself for that very reason. Perry's got to punt it on 4th and a yard. Trying to drop this one inside the 10 and does right about at the 9-yard line with the fair catch. So 91 yards away, Michigan State with 10:26 remaining. They trail by 6. Well, those numbers aren't going to make you forget Kirk Cousins, Brian Hoyer, or Mike Stanton before them, I should say. And it looks like Maxwell's coming back in, Todd, 90 yards away from trying to get the lead here.
Well, I think this decision is based purely on game experience, you know, and Andrew Maxwell has that this year over Connor Cook.
He told us some of the best learning experiences, be they in wins or losses, was having to come from behind in the 4th quarter. And right now they're going to try to do it on the legs of Leveon Bell, who's closing in on a 100-yard rushing night after really having some tough sledding at 38 yards at halftime.
Well, the good news for Michigan State is they should be fairly comfortable playing in one-possession ball games,
right,
because they did it all year. At one point in the season, up prior to their win over Minnesota to finish the year, they had 7 consecutive games that were one-possession games.
And that time an NCAA record. Here's Bell into the secondary for the first time tonight. And he takes out half the TCU bench when he lands on their bench. And he's got a big play and a first down and a 21-yard pickup.
Nice stretch play. Again, the fullback out there in front. Hammock.
He lowered his shoulder at the end to make him pay for the tackle. And then took out about 8 Horned Frogs that weren't on the field on the sideline. 12th 100-yard game of his career, his 8th this season. He's got 3 200-plus games this year. Little hesitation, and now trying to pop it outside again, and a good gain, pickup of about 6.
That was his 376th carry of the season. Again, I mean, you talk about a durable guy. He's asking out here for a little bit of a break.
That is Trevone Boykin, who it seems like the last couple of possessions has been cramping up.
Yeah.
And they're working on him on the sideline. And no gain on that play for Nick Hill. Davian Pearson made the tackle. Leveon Bell waiting to get back in there now. Huge third down upcoming. And if this is going to be where Andrew Maxwell needs to make a play, he needs to make it right here. Bell stays on the sideline. Larry Caper comes in at the tailback spot. And it'll be Maxwell in an empty set with 4 of his receivers to the right side. He's trying to run that way. Scrambling. Ball is out. Covered, I think, by his own lineman, but never had a chance to get a pass away.
Well, they tried to move the pocket to get away from the quick pass rush. The problem was Mapunga just pushed his man, the right tackle, Skylar Birkin, right into the quarterback. There was nowhere to go. Pearson is the guy who ends up getting the tackle, but Mapunga made the play. And Michigan State very lucky they were able to come up with that football.
So they've got to kick it away again. As you look behind Sadler. Dawson backpedals, dropped the ball inside the 5. Who's got it? Michigan State, I believe, at the 4-yard line.
Well, this was an incredible punt, Brad. This ball was a rocket that just kept driving deep. Usually you tell your return man to put his heels on the 10-yard line, but that ball just really kept driving, and Dawson never got a clean read on it.
Michigan State with a ball, 1st and goal, as Williamson covers that drop ball by Dawson.
Here's only one guy who touches the ball here.
Talk about a gift.
Wow.
Now can Michigan State capitalize?
We talked about in their 7 wins plus 12 turnover margin, in their 5 losses, -5. Or -7, I should say.
Leveon Bell, a tailback in the eye. They fake it to him. Maxwell again running the wrong way, and a shovel pass to get it out of bounds with Hasley giving chase.
That's good discipline by TCU. I mean, that is disciplined defense, not to be fooled on the play action.
On the play, quarterback out of the pocket, ball reached the line of scrimmage.
There's Thomas on the sideline. And it's 2nd down and goal.
See, now you go 2 tight ends, and you don't even have a lead fullback.
And one of those tight ends on the move to become the lead blocker for Bell. Heading to the corner. Touchdown. Michigan State an extra point away from the first lead of the night. Amazing turnaround from halftime when it was 13-0. And again, a little bit like the Georgia game last year, Michigan State coming up with big plays when they needed them in the second half. But this one started with a miscue on the punt return.
Pretty quick thinking, too, by Dan Rauscher, the offensive coordinator, to go with the tight end in the backfield when you lost your starting fullback.
Extra point is good. Michigan State in front. It all started, though, with Dawson dropping the football. R.J. Williamson covers it. Leveon Bell, for the 12th time this season, finds the end zone on the ground. 14-13. Leveon Bell has hung in there after a slow start. Now he's got 131 yards and, more importantly, a touchdown. Dawson, who dropped that punt, back as the kick returner here from Kevin Muma. As Michigan State's got its first lead of the night. This will be Dawson from the goal line. Might try to make up for it here on one play. Got out, nice return, out across the 30.
Now, I think if you're TCU, you got lots of time, but you got to get the ball in the hands of your best playmaker, and that's Josh Boyce. He's the proven guy, number 82. So you got to find ways to get him the football and see if he can make a play for you.
Especially when your quarterback is having some issues with his hamstring or his knee or cramps, but has not been running like he did in the first half. Blitz coming. Quick throw completes, and it is Josh Boyce around the 40.
And keep him in the slot where it's harder to put your best cover guys on him. And I try to give him the football. So you got Boyce in the slot again, and that means he's away from the best cover guys who are the corners. Denard and, in this case, now Waynes.
Boykin again, the quick throw, and it's complete on the fly to Darius Brown. Brown at the 40. Stiff arm and knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Ladarius Brown, another one of the redshirt freshmen with a big play.
Nice job. Back-to-back quick throws. Good read that time by Boykin. They covered Boyce, and they left open Brown, and he found the open guy.
Brown only had 25 catches on the year, but 5 of them were touchdowns. So every 5 times he touches it, he scores. That time he got 21 yards, 21 big yards. And now Boykin only about a yard before Bulla and Hoover bring him down. Well, there's the Michigan State season of their losses. And as we said earlier, it's almost impossible to lose 5 games by a total of 13 points.
Yeah.
But here they are in another close game that's going to set a record of 8 games that have been 4 points or less or whatever. And they're in position, but TCU's driving here.
TCU's driving. Their field goal kicker has been pretty good. They have a chance to take the lead. But again, Michigan State should be comfortable in this situation and at least have another opportunity to close a game out.
2nd down and 9. Inside the 31. Boykin flares it out to Tucker, and he loses his footing.
It's a bad throw. He threw it behind his receiver. When you throw the ball to a back, you want that ball in front of him where he can just keep his momentum and turn upfield and run. Because it was thrown behind him, he had to slow down, twist his body, and when he did make the catch, he ended up losing yardage. Yeah, I'm with you on that timeout, because if you get a stop here, you're looking at about a 52-yard field goal attempt. Anyway.
3rd and 13. Boykin going to take off with this one, but he's not going anywhere. Courtesy of Shalik Calhoun. And now out comes the field goal unit. 50 is his career long. He hit that against Iowa State. This will be a 53-yard field goal attempt to try to regain the lead for the Horned Frogs. Jaden Oberchrome, freshman out of Arlington, Texas, from 53. Kick on the way, and he got it. Wow. 53-yard field goal by a freshman with the pressure on and 2:42 remaining, and he comes through.
This was no doubt. I mean, as far as strength of leg, I mean, it had to sneak it through the left upright. And now you see why Mark D'Antonio used those timeouts, assuming this guy was going to nail a long field goal, try to save as much time for your offense as possible. And they still have 1 timeout.
And 2:42 to work with. Nothing like having 16 freshmen you're playing, and both your punter and your kicker are, and they've come through tonight in both cases. Now is it going to be Maxwell or Cook at quarterback for Sparty?
I think at this point it has to be Maxwell. You know, you put him back in the game. And he's the veteran, the guy with the experience. I think you got to go with him.
What you'd like to get is a decent kick return, but this guy might not even let you return it. And he won't. 5 yards deep. Nick Hill's got to take a knee. And it will be Andrew Maxwell coming out of quarter. Well, both guys are there. Let's wait and see. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Andrew Maxwell was trying to get the troops fired up, but it looks like they're going to go with the other quarterback in this situation. Not game experience. They're going with the youngster Cook. It's a big surprise, a call right now, but Andrew Maxwell was trying to rally the troops, and at the last second, they took him back to the sideline. Big call by Mark D'Antonio.
I'll say one thing for Connor Cook. When he's been in there, he's made decisions rather quickly. And as Todd said earlier, I think a bigger guy and a bigger arm. Yeah. We'll see if he can come through from the 25, first down. And there is a quick toss to Bell. And Leveon's got 12 and a first down.
Well, you got to make quick decisions because you know you got Fields and Mapunga, outstanding pass rushers, working against your tackles. You can't hold the ball a long time against these two guys.
Cook pumps down the middle, complete to his tight end. Across midfield to Deion Sims.
Good protection. 2 plays in a row, good pass protection, and nice reads by Connor Cook.
Dan Conroy warming up on the sideline. His career long, also 50. Little draw play. Bell trying to follow his blockers. Gets it to the 46-yard line with 2 minutes remaining.
Mark used his last timeout.
Timeout. Michigan State. Their third and final timeout.
Again, Dan Conroy, a senior, in fact, a grad student out of Wheaton, Illinois, whose career long is 50, and he's warming up on the sideline.
So what Connor Cook is thinking here now, with no timeouts, you can work any part of the field. You get a first down, the clock stops. Can't take a sack, though.
He loft that one to the sideline. Leveon Bell was the closest guy, but it was good coverage by Sam Carter, the linebacker.
All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 7, too.
Yeah. That kind of snuck up on him, didn't it?
Well, they tried to slip that draw play in on first down to run to Bell. It didn't fool TCU. And then the throwaway there on 2nd down, and now a big 3rd down. Obviously, 2-down territory.
He's like Sims, his tight end, on a few occasions tonight. He's just backpedaled and now in motion. 3rd and 7, Michigan State. Cook fires down the middle, in and out of the hands of Burbridge. The flag back at the 30-yard line.
Defensive holding is the signal.
That's going to be a first down.
5 yards and an automatic first down.
Holding on the defense, number 1. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Chris Hackett with a holding call. Man, oh man.
Hackett made one of the best defensive plays in the first half when he stripped the long pass away from Burbridge. That time gets caught with the holding and gives Michigan State new life and a first down.
Fresh set of downs at the 37 with 1:50 remaining. Connor Cook, quick throw, dangerous one intended for Burbridge that time. I was in a little bit of traffic.
I know I've said it several times. I still think a double move, a slant and go, would be wide open because of the way they have squeezed these quick routes by Michigan State. Even if you don't have a real dynamic speed receiver, the way they're jumping routes, a double move, I think, would get you a touchdown.
Hand off to Bell, who hurdles one man, or at least jumped over one man. And he's got it to the 31-yard line. Now this is already field goal territory for Michigan State. So they'd love to pick up the first down. They'd love to use up the clock. What they don't want to do is get a negative play here.
Yep.
Third down and 4. We're down to 1:20. It's a nail biter now. Dan Conroy is done warming up, ready to come in if needed. Bell, quick move in the hole, but it only got him in about a half yard because Kenny Kane stayed with him. And now TCU is going to take a timeout. Conroy, some of his teammates trying to leave him alone, and some of them giving some encouragements. And here he comes.
One of the last games that we ever did together at Michigan State kind of came down to an interesting field goal kick situation.
Yep, fake field goal for a touchdown pass against Notre Dame. This will be a 47-yard attempt by Dan Conroy out of a Mike Sadler hold. Conroy to try to give Sparty the lead back on the way, and good. And still 61 seconds to play. First it was a freshman and then a grad student senior with back-to-back big-time kicks, and Michigan State back in front.
And the last-second decision by Mark D'Antonio to go back to Connor Cook on this possession. He hits 2 quick completions to get him out to midfield, then a couple runs by Bell, another completion, and then the go-ahead field goal. But what a drive by Michigan State. An offense that had been pretty much stymied for this entire football game. Made some plays when they needed them.
Conroy's 23rd field goal of the season is a Michigan State record. And they have had some awfully good kickers going all the way back to Morton Anderson and guys like that. But still, 1:01 left. This is a short kick. Taken at the 8-yard line. Dawson backpedals his way to the 30. So TCU's got 1 timeout left. We know they've got a kicker with range at 55 seconds remaining. Final minute. Boykin, pressure from behind, hit and got away. And now he'll get what he can and tiptoe out of bounds with about a 2-yard gain. Nikos Allen almost had him in the backfield. Well, Conroy's kick hold up. TCU needs some pretty significant yardage here. 2nd down and 8. Boykin flushed out of the pocket. Sidearms it. Probably should have been caught by Cam White, but wasn't. Trey Waynes was there defensively. That's 3rd and 8.
And I think Boykin got a little antsy on that play. I don't think he needed to leave the pocket quite as quickly as he did. Made a pretty accurate throw on the run, but he's got to keep his feet set and deliver a ball here on 3rd down. Again, 2-down territory, so you don't have to necessarily get it all in this play, but you only have 1 timeout left as well.
Spartan sideline going crazy over there. Boykin steps up on the run. That's not what they needed, but they've got a timeout left. And now he gets up limping again.
Nice play by Kyler Ellsworth, the backup middle linebacker, in there in place of Max Bulla. Ran this one down.
Timeout, TCU. Their 3rd and final timeout.
The last gasp is at hand now. It's 4th down.
Actually, Bulla was in there along with Kyler Ellsworth, and Ellsworth was kind of the spy on that play on the quarterback Boykin and did a perfect job of staying right with him.
4th down and 17 for TCU. This is your ball game. Boykin steps up, fires long, and it is incomplete.
Somehow there was a guy running all by himself for TCU, though.
Holding on the offense, number 69. That penalty's declined.
And Michigan State and their faithful can thank their kicker and thank their defense and how they played in the second half, and their number 2 quarterback. Kind of a strange night.
Well, the holding would have wiped this out, but I want you to see something now. This back, Catalan, is going to come out and run the wheel route, and nobody picks him up. And that's who Boykin was trying to throw the football to, but he is running all by himself down the sideline for TCU. Again, the holding would have wiped it out, but they had a guy open that would have put them in field goal range on that play.
What a wild ending. And now Michigan State can take a knee and have back-to-back bowl wins. Georgia last year in a come-from-behind effort, and TCU tonight in dramatic fashion with a 17-point second half to win it 17-16, the final score. And Mark D'Antonio's the winning coach with Holly.
Well, Coach, coming into this game tonight, Connor Cook, your quarterback, had 5 completions on the season. So what factored into your decision to let him take that last drive for your team?
Well, we wanted him to play tonight. We just felt like we wanted to get a guy an opportunity to play who's a redshirt freshman. And, you know, he played well. He kept playing well, so we decided to go with him, you know, and he gave us some scrambling ability a little bit. But Andrew Maxwell's a great football player, great quarterback. But you got to go with the hot guy a little bit. He made some throws down the stretch.
5 of your 6 losses this season, Coach, were by 2 points. So what was going through your mind with a minute left when you were down by 2?
Well, that we were going to kick a field goal and win by 1, of course. But just a great job by our players, just coming back and, you know, bouncing back from 13-0, and we just kept believing. Got a great breakdown here. Outstanding football team. TCU has an outstanding defense, and, you know, quarterback makes plays, and so feel very blessed.
Finally win the close one, Coach.
There it is.
Dan Conroy, the senior kicker, playing his final game for Michigan State, hits the game winner. Don't forget the trophy ceremonies on ESPN3. That's going to do it from Tempe, Arizona. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, Brad Nessler, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you with Oregon and Kansas State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl when next we meet.